In some cases, people are required to put forth, I think, what's called a certain professional demeanor when they're on their job. For some people, maybe when they're working as a customer service representative for a company, they're very polite and wonderful to deal with because that's what their job requires. But when you meet them outside of their job, they're really not very friendly at all because they have too many things to worry about, too many other concerns. They're tired. There could be a whole lot of different reasons. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It means they're human. To what extent do we allow ourselves to remain human people? When people ask, "Who are you?" what does it mean if we first were to answer saying, "I am a human being who has these qualities"? Because there's part of that being a human being stuff that shapes us and that answers the question word who. In talking with someone else, in forming a relationship, taking the question word who and moving it outside of ourselves to where now we're more concerned with who am I meeting rather than simply who is meeting me. From a selfish or narcissistic perspective, being concerned with who is meeting me may even, it's not that one would say it, but the way they live, it's as if they think they're the center of the universe. And who I am is the one around whom life revolves. Everything exists for me, and anything that somebody else needed is not my concern. It's not my turn to watch him, it's not my job, it's not my whatever. That is one of the perspectives that is perhaps common in many of our worlds. Your world and mine, worlds we share, worlds we don't. When we're able to step beyond that, however, we find that the who of other people can be really, really wonderful and take us beyond that artificial sense of being the center of the universe. Because in order for life to work at all, there has to be an exchange going on. Who I am and who you are has to be in positive relationship, or else we wind up stepping on each other's toes, getting in each other's way and causing each other problems that keep all sorts of good things from happening, and may even keep our own survival from happening. In the earliest human societies, the organization was generally very tribal. A tribe of people, a group of people, moving from place to place, finding food where they could, finding shelter however they could, finding some of their challenges, such as building a shelter, building a house. Well, even today, building a skyscraper requires an enormous number of people. Similarly, building an experience requires an enormous number of people. Next time you go see a movie in a movie theater, sit through the end credits until the movie absolutely stops and count how many names are in the end credits, so that the experience of that movie required all of these who's in order for it to happen. In order for you to be someone who has seen that movie, dozens, if not hundreds, maybe even thousands of other who's had to combine all of their efforts and all of their energies in order to create this visual auditory experience that may even create emotions for you, that may teach you about where life can go, what it can be, what the possibilities of yourself are. The movie may have had a story about a who very different from yourself. In every movie, though, I would encourage you to look for that part of the who that is common with something in you. That the person in the movie needed to make a decision about what to do for a living, where to travel, who to love, whom not to love, whom to fear, whom to run away from. Those are all similar choices to the ones we face every day, the ones that shape who and what we are also. When people say, "Who are you?" do we say, "I'm one who stands up for himself. I'm one who always gives in because I want to avoid all arguments. I'm one who can't tell the difference between a just and an unjust situation. I'm the one who can or cannot understand a particular language." These are all aspects of the question word who. In having guests on the show, I very often want to draw them out if I can through conversation, saying, "Yes, but who are you?" And in every case, I try to pick a guest who can answer that as, "I am someone who has had this experience," or "I am someone who has this understanding, and this is how the understanding or the experience affect my life." All part of the question word who, which is why I found it so fascinating and wonderful when Dr. Seuss, in his wonderful metaphorical fantasy sort of way, created the book Horton Hears a Who. The interesting thing about Dr. Seuss characters is that many times you can't tell whether they're male or female, how old they are, because they're all more concerned with being a who than with being a what. And as Sister Who, I'm often working with people trying to encourage them to pay more attention to, "Yes, but who are you? Is it what you do? Is it what you wear? Is it what you own? Is it the experience you've had that makes you who you are? Or is there something even deeper than that? That if you finally got to it, you might label that the human soul. That the soul is what makes me who I am. And that if you take my soul and put it in any other body, in any other context, at any other time in history, I will remain who I am, because there is something that some people call soul that is totally, totally unique to me."